good evening. I'm Eden Wimpheimer, first Selectwoman, and I'm joined by Steve Hall, Selectman, and Amanda Thompson, Select Person. And call this July 24th Board of Selectmen meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. All right. We have, I think, one person on Zoom. If there's any public comment, I don't see any. Correspondence. I received a letter from the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, CCM, which East Granby is a member. I'll read the letter. CCM and Governor Jody Rell's Center for Public Service at the University of Hartford have worked with other organizations to promote civil discourse in the public sphere. CCM and the center have co-sponsored workshops in civility in the past and are now embarking on a campaign to encourage public officials to implement action steps to conduct the public's business without rancor. The steps have been placed into a poster and flyer form. So they actually included this this poster, which will be posted at all public meetings. And there's just some guidelines to keep in mind during public meetings. And so you'll see this at the next town meeting. Or we could have it here, but I don't think there's a need for it really. Okay. Next on the agenda are minutes from, actually I wanted to mention our, out of our economic development department, our new, comeback small business passport program, which is starting, we have the passports now. I believe stamps are available, so residents can come on in and pick up a passbook. And the point is to visit the participating businesses in town and to get stamps each time you visit. And there'll be a drawing after the Small Business Saturday on November 30th. So it should be the week after that we'll have the drawing. And we have cash prizes for the top 3 winners. Or business visitors, I should say. So you can stop in and grab those. All right, next on the agenda are minutes from May 22nd, May 30th, June 18th, and June 20th. Please have a motion for those.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 5/22, 5/30, 6/18, and 6/20/24 as they are presented.
I'll second that, but I just want to talk over. I was not at the 18th and the 20th, so I can either abstain from the whole thing if you'd rather.
You can still vote on them. If you read them, you can still vote.
Okay.
As long as there's no changes, we can. Okay. All right, all those in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Thanks.
All right, motion carries. Next on the agenda is old business, back office shared services opportunities, which I don't have anything right now. So we can move along to new business. Tax collector report for the month of June, which was the last month of fiscal year 24. We were overall 99.06% collection rate. We took in just over $93,000 in taxes and $35,400 in sewer. Delinquent sewer notices went out in June, at the end of June. We just had one from November and 28 from May, but we expect those to get paid. We're usually close to 100% collection on those. As you know, we started our new fiscal year on July 1, and it'll transition me to the next agenda item, but so tax bills should be in everyone's mailboxes now. And yes, so I'll just need a motion for the tax report.
I'll make a motion to accept the tax collector's report for June as presented.
Second that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to 6B, FY24-25 budget update. The budget for this fiscal year was approved on July 9. The budget for general government is $5,608. the budget for Board of Education is $20,090,000. And also voted on was $1,204,730 for debt service and $600,000 for the capital reserve fund, for the 5-year fund. Totaling, those two total $27,502,730. We actually had about 25% of our voters come out and vote, which was great. A great turnout. And like I said, the tax bills are out and due at the end of August. What month are we in? Okay. Next on the agenda are the police logs for May and for June. In May, we had 14 motor vehicle accidents. In June, we had 13. We had 12 alarm calls in May and 14 in June. We had 1 burglary in June. For public disturbances, we had 1 in May and 5 in June. These will also be posted on our town website. We had 1 DWI in June, 2 fires in June, 1 fraud in June, 2 larcenies in June. We had 30 medical assists in May and 34 in June, 1 emergency committal in May and 3 in June. We had 1 missing person in May. We had 7 suspicious incidents in May and 10 in June. We had 13 traffic stops in May and 82 in June. 1 untimely death, both in May and June. 662 patrol checks in May, 556 in June. And then a total service calls for service in May were 875 and in June 841. All right, next update is our ARPA funds, and the balance we have for remaining funds are $41,746.28. So that balance is increased because we had a custodian who we were paying with ARPA who actually was out on workers' comp, so we were able to move those funds back in. And social services, there was about 10,000 we moved back in because we did work that position into the budget this year. So any questions with that? Or move on? All right. Next we have appointments and resignations. First, I'd like to start out with a resignation from Planning and Zoning and from Building Board of Appeals of Dan Velkovsky. I'd like to thank Dan for his public service throughout the years. And the Building Board of Appeals actually is a group that we've had that hasn't met since 2014. So we'll have some other activity with that in a moment. But thank you, Dan. And that position will be filled by the respective town committee. That's an elected position. Another resignation we have is from John Cochran on Board of Ed. Again, I'd like to thank John for his public service. He wrote a nice letter thanking, just being grateful for the time that he had on it. He served over 10 years for the first term on Board of Ed and was just reelected recently. So we thank him for his service also. Next, we have the Building Board of Appeals is made up of five people, and there's one who's no longer a resident, and so he'll be resigning, Rich Nelson. And we have because of Dan's resignation, we have another opening. So those appointments would be, we have interest from Greg Gallagher from town. Greg is currently, he has a job where he deals with building codes, training and teaching of all levels of end users, engineers, code officials. He's involved with the sale and proper installation of critical components to a structured load path. I have no idea what that is. His specialty's been mostly decks, so I kind of know what it is. But he deals with all parts of buildings, so he'd be a great addition, in my opinion, to the Building Board of Appeals. And also an Alexander Neto, I believe I'm pronouncing his name properly. He works at Kentucky Blue Landscaping out of Bloomfield. He's a foreman and equipment operator. He's experienced in a variety of construction, including site work, drainage, masonry, carpentry, and septic and sewer work. So I think he'd be a fine addition also. So for the resignations and the appointments, if I could have a motion.
We'll make a motion to accept the resignations and to make the appointments of the mentioned folks.
I'll second that.
Any discussion or?
No, I just, you know, again, I concur with you reaching out as a shout out to Dan. He's been a fixture on that board for just as long as I can remember. So it's numerous years of running for positions and then putting the time in that's required of those positions. So I'd really like to thank him for his service.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next on the agenda is the an update with the MDC hazardous waste. I just wanted to remind people for 2024, East Granby's hazardous waste collection date is October 19th. It's in Windsor Locks at their Public Works garage at 6 Stan Road.
18th or 19th?
This 19th.
Okay, because I got.
Yeah, I gave you 2025. Sorry.
there we go.
But I have 2024.
There you
That
go.
was just a reminder. Sorry. Nicole reminded me that we haven't even hit ours yet so, for this year. So just a reminder, but you can go to any town. So we have October 19th. If you can't make it to that, you can go to October 26th in Hartford. But the 2025 schedule will be posted just as soon as it's approved by MDC. But I did give them the go-ahead for October 18th of next year. But again, this 2025 schedule will be posted on the website, and you can go to any other date throughout the year in its respective town. So that will be posted on the website shortly. All right, and just a village center update. I did mention it in the latest edition of Let's Talk Turkey. We, as everyone knows, we have a $2.875 million grant, and after CROG reviewed it, they thought we might need some more money, so they upped it to $3.5 million, and which is very gracious of them. We're very grateful. And we currently have a request for proposal out for engineering plans, so we're hoping to hear back from those soon so we can be able to pick a company to start the initial drawings and construction plans. So things are moving along on that. All right, and then the Board of Selectmen has an executive session, so I'll just need a motion to enter executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
I'll make a motion to enter executive session.
Second that.
All right, so it is, okay, all those in favor of executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we're gonna go to executive session at 6:44 PM. And we will not make any votes, and we will likely be coming back to make a vote in public. Okay, so in our executive session, we discussed a grievance filed by a police officer, so let's look for a motion.
So I'll move that the Board of Selectmen deny the grievance filed by Officer Keith Loveland, which grievance was originally dated on July 11th, 2024.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor of the motion of denying the grievance, say aye.
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 Aye, okay, it's unanimous, so the motion passes. And now I just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All right, we are officially adjourned at 6:58 PM.